Part 1. Reframing Luck, from Chance to Engineered Probability. Welcome to Shadow Psychology. We begin with a heresy. Everything you've been told about luck is a palliative lie designed to keep you passive. Society sells you the lottery ticket of being in the right place at the right time because it benefits from your hopeful waiting. We reject this. Your 2026 Black Swan, that rare, life-altering breakthrough, will not be found. It must be engineered. This is not mysticism. It is the cold science of probability manipulation. Your first task is to murder the superstitious peasant inside you who prays for luck, and to resurrect the engineer who builds the terrain where luck is forced to appear. Consider the anatomy of any overnight success story: the viral startup, the accidental discovery, the chance meeting that changed everything. Behind each lies a hidden architecture, a decade of obscure skill building, a network cultivated in the shadows, a trail of failed prototypes that served as unseen attractors. Luck is not a lightning strike from a clear sky. It is a conductive rod you must consciously erect on the highest peak of your persistent effort. The Black Swan is an event with massive impact, but it is not uncaused. Your mission is to become the cause. This requires a new lens, serial luckiness. It is not a trait, but a system. Observe the individuals who consistently get lucky. You will find they operate on a protocol. They maximize their luck surface area, the total exposure of their skills, ideas, and presence to the flow of random opportunities. A hermit genius has a near-zero surface area. A creator sharing unfinished work, engaging in collaborations, and vocalizing curious problems has a vast one. The universe cannot grant you a breakthrough it cannot find you for. Therefore, your inaugural audit is brutal and geometric. Map your current luck surface area. How many distinct domains know your name? How many of your ideas are exposed to the friction of reality? How many connections do you maintain that are non-transactional, based on curiosity, not calculation? If your life is a sealed, efficient loop, you are not unlucky. You are in a state of probabilistic sterility. The first tremor of your personal Black Swan will be the cracking of this very shell. The discomfort of exposing your half-formed thoughts, of risking trivial rejections, of appearing foolish in new arenas. This is not a side effect. It is the primary signal that you are beginning to conduct the energy of breakthrough. The peasant fears exposure. The engineer calibrates it. Choose your identity. The clock to 2026 is already counting down. Part 2. Building the breeding ground, your personal adjacent possible. Your engineered luck now requires a specific environment, a psychic and social petri dish where breakthrough events can not only occur but thrive. You cannot summon a Black Swan in a vacuum. You must cultivate the ecology that makes it inevitable. This ecology is called your adjacent possible, a term stolen from complexity science, describing the set of all possibilities that are one step away from your current reality. Think of it not as a distant frontier, but as the ever-expanding shell of your own potential, pushing into the unknown. Your current skills, connections, and ideas are the keys that unlock specific doors in this shell. Most people stare at the one door labeled linear career progress. We are hunting for the hidden, unmarked doors. To expand this shell, you must systematically violate the borders of your own expertise. This is a deliberate act of intellectual trespassing. Your information diet must become aggressively interdisciplinary. Consume the Journal of Speculative Biology if you are a marketer. Study ancient rhetoric if you are a programmer. The goal is not to become an expert, but to become a carrier of alien concepts that can cross-pollinate with your domain. The Black Swan often appears at the collision of two unrelated fields. You are building the internal library for that collision. Simultaneously, you must architect a network of weak ties. Your close friends and colleagues mirror your worldview. They are your adjacent present. The true catalysts live in your periphery, the acquaintance from a different industry, the thinker with opposing politics, the practitioner of an obscure craft. These connections are your antennas into other adjacent possibles. Their surprises become your possibilities. Your task is not networking, but deliberate ecosystem design, curating a circle where strange insights are the common currency. Now, translate this into your experimental polygon, a private low-stakes zone for half-baked executions, a substack with 12 readers, a functional but ugly prototype, a workshop for 3 people. This is where ideas from your information diet meet the feedback from your weak ties. This polygon is not for launching, it is for testing the viability of your new possible selves. Each experiment is a probe into your expanding adjacent possible, a signal flare to attract conspirators and opportunities that your old sealed self could never have perceived. The breeding ground is not a comfortable place. It is a dynamic, slightly chaotic frontier. But it is the only terrain where black swans are born. Part 3. The signal generator. Crafting high variance, low-cost bets. With your breeding ground established, we move from theory to tactical action. Hope is not a strategy. It is a neurological opioid. Your strategy must be a portfolio of calculated provocations. Abandon the monolithic 5-year plan. It is a blueprint for a statue, not for a living system that must adapt to seismic shifts. Instead, you will create a spectrum of what we call high variance, low-cost bets, small, discrete experiments designed not to succeed predictably, but to generate maximum information and attract unexpected opportunities. Think of each bet not as a step on a ladder, but as a sonar ping into the abyss of your potential. A high-variance bet has 3 attributes. It is inexpensive to launch in time, money, ego, quick to execute from idea to launch in weeks, not months, and has a wildly uncertain outcome. Its potential upside is non-linear and could open entirely new doors. Examples: publishing a controversial hypothesis in a niche forum, building a simple tool that automates a pain point for a small community you've just entered, offering a radically formatted consulting session, or creating a piece of content in a medium alien to you. The goal is not profit, but signal. Success is measured in the quality and surprise of the feedback, not in revenue. This is where you enforce the 10% rule. No single bet can consume more than 10% of your key resources: time, attention, capital. This constraint is your savior. It forces creativity over grandiosity and prevents emotional attachment. You are not a visionary betting the farm. You are a scientist running parallel trials in a lab you built. When you operate on the 10% principle, failure is not a catastrophe. It is a data point, cheaply bought and incredibly valuable. It tells you which doors in your adjacent possible are locked, and more importantly, which ones might creak open. Your practical mission is to draft your breakthrough portfolio for the next 6 months. Identify 5 bets. Ensure they are diverse: 1 social, 1 skill-based, 1 creative, 1 commercial, 1 purely intellectual. Schedule them. Launch them. Your discipline is not in the obsessive polishing of one thing. but in the consistent, rhythmic generation of these probes into possibility space. The world ignores those who are perfecting one masterpiece in a basement. It rewards, often in bizarre and sudden ways, those who are constantly broadcasting intelligent, curious signals on many frequencies. Your Black Swan is listening for your frequency. Start transmitting. Part 4. Amplifying the ripple. How to turn a small win into a system shock. This is the moment of truth and the moment where most fail. You have launched your bets. Most will fade into benign silence. This is their purpose. But one, perhaps the most unlikely, will produce a shiver of resonance. Not a standing ovation, but a peculiar ping. A message from an unexpected person, a use case you never envisioned, a spark of interest from a domain far from your own. This is not your breakthrough. This is the primordial ripple of your Black Swan. Your instinct will be to celebrate modestly and return to business as usual, a fatal error. This microscopic signal is the crack in reality you have been engineering. Now you must, with surgical precision, pour all available energy into widening it. First, you must master the art of signal versus noise diagnostics. Not all positive feedback is a signal. Praise from your usual audience is noise. A polite, great job is noise. The signal has specific markers. It comes from an unexpected quadrant, a different industry, age group, or cultural niche. It proposes an unexpected application of your idea, or it carries an unexpected intensity, a passionate request, a deep confusion, an offer to collaborate in a strange way. This signal is a raw thread leading out of your current labyrinth. Your immediate, non-negotiable action is to double your investment in this specific channel. Respond deeply. Create a derivative piece specifically for that new audience. Offer a direct personal connection. Next, you initiate the laddering protocol. You do not abandon your original bet to chase the new thing. You build a ladder between them. The initial experiment is rung 1. The signal reveals rung 2, a more focused, valuable iteration for this new, specific context. You quickly create and offer rung 2, using it to pull the interested cohort closer and gather more refined signal. This ladder is how you climb from a vague interest to a crystallized opportunity without losing the authentic core that attracted it in the first place. You are not pivoting, you are evolving with directional intent. Finally, you orchestrate a collision. You strategically introduce this new emerging thread to the most relevant of your weak ties from your breeding ground. You don't ask for help. You present the fascinating anomaly. Here's what happened when my X experiment resonated in Y world. You know this space. What's the pattern here? This does two things. It grants you a decoder for the signal, and it often triggers a cascade of new connections as your contact's mind makes novel associations. The ripple is no longer yours alone. It is now a shared object of curiosity in a network designed to amplify it. This is the alchemy, turning a single ping into a resonating wave that begins to distort the very fabric of your perceived reality. The swan is no longer approaching. You are learning to ride the turbulence of its wake. Part 5. Riding the Swan, the psychology of navigating the breakthrough storm. You have done the impossible. You have engineered your earthquake. The ground is now shaking. And here awaits the final, most brutal trap. The self that engineered the breakthrough is now its primary obstacle. Your old identity, your comfortable anxieties, your familiar limits, these were the very constraints you built the machine to escape. But as the machine succeeds, your psyche will rebel with the sophistication of a targeted immune response. This is not imposter syndrome. It is identity dissonance. The map of who you are is tearing apart faster than you can redraw it. The ultimate test is not surviving failure, but surviving your own success without retreating into a smaller version of yourself. You will experience the map destroyer effect. The routines, social circles, and self-narratives that guided you now feel alien. The past becomes a foreign country. A profound nostalgia for your previous, more limited life will arise, not because it was better, but because it was knowable. This vertigo is not a sign of error. It is the precise confirmation that you are crossing the threshold. Your mind, craving homeostasis, will manufacture sabotage, procrastination on key decisions, picking unnecessary fights with allies, fantasizing about burning it all down to return to simple misery. Recognize these not as moral failings, but as neurological panic attacks of a dying self-concept. Your counter-protocol is the temporal identity framework. You must not attempt to permanently redefine who you are. Instead, adopt a provisional identity. The steward of this breakthrough for a fixed term of 90 days. This is a role you play, a mask you wear. The steward's sole purpose is to manage the chaos, make strategic decisions, and protect the nascent opportunity without requiring your entire personality to be rebuilt overnight. This psychological trick creates critical distance. You are not becoming someone new yet. You are performing a necessary function. This lowers the existential stakes and frees you to act with ruthless pragmatism. To maintain course, you must institutionalize your shadow council. This is your personal board of directors, comprised of 3 types: one realist who grounds you in data, one believer who sees the potential when you cannot, and one outsider from an unrelated field who asks the naive, foundational questions you've stopped asking. You meet weekly. Their role is not to agree, but to challenge your evolving blind spots. In the storm of a black swan, your own judgment is the first casualty. Your counsel is your externalized cortex. The journey concludes with a paradoxical realization. There is no final destination called the breakthrough. Your 2026 Black Swan is merely the most forceful door yet into a new, vaster adjacent possible. The system you have built, the breeding ground, the signal generator, the amplification protocol, is now your permanent operating system. You are not a person who got lucky once. You are a probability turbine designed to attract, withstand, and metabolize continuous waves of transformative change. The fear of the unknown becomes your fuel. The chaos becomes your landscape. You began by seeking a single event to change your life. You end by becoming the kind of event that changes everything you touch. The swan has landed. Now, you must learn to fly with it.